Hello, ladies, and welcome back to another episode of Get 'em Girl, a girl's guide to relationships, femininity, dating, polarity, and attraction. Okay, ladies, so I know you've seen the title. Today we are talking about feminine rebranding. And if you are in the middle of your glow up journey, your feminine journey, this is exactly the journey that you're on. You're actually in your feminine rebrand, right? And so while you're on this journey, there are some things that I want to talk to you ladies about that you should be aware of, whether you're starting out, you've been doing it for a little bit, or you're thinking about starting. These are some things that I wish that I knew when going into my rebrand. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into the video. Okay, so the first thing is everyone is not going to initially understand your journey. And I think this is one of the hard things because when you start a journey, I think we all realize, especially at the beginning, there's so much motivation that we have to do it. We're putting so much work and time in and so much thought space into it that once we encounter other people and they don't quite react to us as the new version of ourselves that we're creating, or they treat us as our old self, right? Or they treat us as if whatever we're doing is something that's temporary or for the moment. It can be frustrating, okay? I don't know if you've experienced a time frame where maybe you were working really hard on your weight and you were starting this whole routine, you're scheduled, you have workouts going, and when you're talking to people, they're giving you like tips about things that you've already started doing as if you're not doing them, right, ladies? Or they're like, yeah, you really just need to get on a schedule. You really just need to control your calorie intake. And you're like, these are all the things that I'm doing. You just don't see the result yet. And so I think it's important to realize that people are not going to see that you're doing so much right away. And that can be frustrating, but also they're not meant to see it yet, ladies. This is something that when you start a journey, it's for you. And I think it's that way by design, because if you start a journey expecting other people's amen all the time, you'll find that you're doing these things for the outside validation. And once that kind of simmers down, you'll probably quit. Okay. So they're not actually meant to understand it initially, so that when you start, it is truly for you. It's for what you want for your life. And then they'll get to see glimpses of progress and they'll start to see things come around with time. But by that time frame, you've been in it for a minute. You've been in it for 6 months or so, and you have actually mastered what you're doing. And you can be like, no, this isn't new. I've been working on this for some months, and then it will click to them. Right, ladies? So it's not for everyone to understand it. And I know that it's frustrating as a person who's working so hard on something, but you have to do it for you still. They won't get it. They won't see the progress. They won't think you're doing anything. They won't take your journey seriously until they start to see the results. And that's just a part of the journey. Honestly, ladies, it is. And so with that being said, that kind of moves me into point 2. When you are in your feminine rebrand, on your glow up journey, on your feminine journey, it is important to maintain a certain level of privacy. And I say that because that's going to kind of help protect your peace. When you are starting something new, when you are really putting in work behind this journey, you do need privacy. If you want to go off and start sharing this with everyone, you will get a lot of voices. You will get a lot of opinions in your ear that can be very discouraging to the process. And here's the thing, people speak from their own lack a lot of times, and they push that out on you. Not to be like mean, and sometimes they're not even doing it on purpose, but that's their viewpoint. And here's the thing, their viewpoint don't have anything to do with you. Okay, so a lot of times in your rebrand, especially when it's so fresh and you're in the beginning stages of it, it is best to just start and no one knows about it. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? Sometimes it's just great to just be on the journey and working on it. And for the first few months, nobody even knows that you're doing it. okay? And let the results speak for themselves, because that privacy is going to give you so much peace. You're not going to be expecting validation. You actually are not looking for it. It's something that's very sacred and it's for you, okay? So moving in silence in this stage of your glow up is actually going to help you out so much. It's not about the other people. It's about you. It's sacred to you. It's what you want to do with your life. It's going to allow you to have peace to make the decisions you want to make without so much outside noise. Right, ladies? And that's powerful. The next thing that I feel like is really great to know is there will be a lot of boundary setting. Ladies, so much boundary setting, because the truth about your feminine rebrand is you are creating this new version of yourself in a world that is used to the old you, okay? And because of that, the new you is going to be tested. And when I say tested, it's not that it's done on purpose, but what this means is when you encounter situations that you've been in before, when you talk to people that you have been around before, when you have conversations that you had before, there will be an expectation for you to react in the way that you used to. There will be opportunity for you to slip back into old habits that you used to have. There will be a chance for people to test to see if the changes that you are making, are they real? Are they permanent? Is this you now? Or is this just a facade that you put up? Naturally, because they have not experienced the new you, a lot of the reaction, a lot of the conversations, a lot of things are going to be geared towards the old you. And so you have to be able to start setting boundaries to protect the new version of yourself, to protect the boundaries that you have for yourself. Certain conversations that you don't want to entertain any longer, you're going to have to set boundaries like, I will not be sitting here discussing that. I will not be sitting here discussing my business. I will not do this right now, okay? You're going to have to start to be able to set boundaries like that and expect pushback. Especially from people who have known you the longest are going to be the worst ones, okay? They are used to a certain version of you and they expect you to be that. And change is hard for people. So those are going to be the people that you really, really have to put that boundary on and let them know we're not doing certain things anymore. We're not talking a certain way anymore. I'm not sitting up and gossiping with y'all the same way that I used to. You're going to have to set a lot of boundaries, and boundaries cost relationships sometimes. They definitely cost you certain conversations. Okay, they may cost you certain invites, ladies, because if you're not willing to indulge in the mess, sometimes you don't get invited to it. And that's okay, right? They're definitely going to cost you certain habits. Okay, so I need you to be prepared for the loss that can come with growth because of your boundaries. Right? There is loss associated with creating new boundaries. And it is a sacrifice that you have to make, but it's a sacrifice for the better. It's the sacrifice for this new version of yourself who's planning on attracting better things. Because once you start to lose those things, once you start to lose certain relationships and old habits and ways of being, once you lose those things, it's making room for the new. It's making room for the new relationships. It's making room for things that fit the new you. Okay, so I ask that you stay the course and you still set the boundaries anyway. Okay, ladies, because it's going to be so beneficial to you, because this is how you start to sculpt out the world around you to get used to the new version of you. Okay? And so as we're talking like boundary setting and all of these different things, I think there's a realization that you have to have that rebranding is really an inside job first. It's an internal job first. I don't care how many different wardrobes you go through, how many different hairstyles you decide on. I don't care about any of that physical stuff. Your true rebrand, when you know that you're actually becoming a new version of yourself, it's going to be because you changed habits. It's going to be because you changed the things that you do every single day, the way you move, the way you speak, okay? The schedule that you have for your day, the activities that you include in your day, the people that you talk to, the places that you go, things that you let yourself encounter and interact with. All of these things are things that are actual indicators that you are creating internal change, okay? Rebranding is a change from the inside out. It's not an aesthetic thing. It's not, I'm throwing out all of these clothes and I'm going to get new ones. No, it's actually it's an internal change. It really is. It's about completely rewiring and rethinking and repurposing. It's about changing the way you do every single little thing. It's about putting your whole schedule, your whole lifestyle, your whole routine on the chopping block and saying, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to keep this, I'm going to lose this. And putting those things back together in a way that is completely new, that serves a completely different version of you, and trying to work that new schedule, work that new routine and those new habits, and do it consistently enough that it becomes who you are. Okay? And here's the thing. The more consistent that you are with these things, you'll be able to tell that it's easier and easier to start to incorporate them into your schedule, and those things naturally change you. It's not something where you just gotta up and say, I'm changing this and this is who I am now. Most of the time, once you change a habit, like an important thing, once you change a habit and you start to incorporate it into your schedule, well, here's the thing. Those things start to shape you. Those things start to shape the way you feel around certain things. They start to shape how you think about certain things. And you naturally start to become the person who is rebranded. You become the person, okay? So I don't want you to think about a rebrand as I'm gonna change this about myself now. I don't want you to necessarily think about it like that. What I want you to think about it as is, I'm going to start changing these habits. I'm going to start changing this routine. And I'm going to start doing it this way now. And then I want you to start doing that so much and so consistently that it starts to change attributes of yourself that you've been wanting to change. It starts to mold you in a different way. And then once it starts to mold you in a different way, you're becoming the new person. So you don't do it by just saying, this is who I am now. You do it by changing the things that made you into the old person. You change those out. And those new things done consistently, they start to create the new you. Right, ladies? I hope that I'm speaking right. I hope that y'all get what I'm saying. So the habits that you change done consistently is what creates this new version of yourself. And I'm going to tell you how to know what to change. If you sit down and you think about the things that you want out of life, you sit down and you think about what you want for yourself, right? If you want to say, listen, I'm a person who is very well off, very opulent. I live in abundance. I drive a nice vehicle. I always have money flowing in and out. And I take care of myself and I stay healthy. Well, what I need you to do is think about the things it would take to maintain a healthy body. If you want to be healthy and you want to be fit, what are the things that I would have to do to be healthy and fit? What would I have to do to maintain it? Not to get it. What would I have to do to be able to maintain those things? Once you figure that out, whatever it takes to maintain those things are the things that you need to be throwing into your schedule, right? If you want to make more money, if you want to have better finances and all that kind of stuff, I need you to think, what kind of habits, what things do I need to be doing? So what traits do I need to have to be a person who always has money, a person who always has money in my account? Is it my spending habits? Do I need to work on that? What I'm willing to spend on and what I'm not willing to spend on? What things do I need to have as traits so that I can have money? And whatever you establish those things to be, you need to start doing those. so that you become the person who can handle it. Whatever changes you make, they need to be changes that make you able to handle the things that you're asking for. Okay, ladies, I hope that is clear. I hope it's making sense. And lastly, I want to leave you with this. You are allowed to reinvent yourself as many times as you want to. It does not matter if every single year you decide that you want to be a completely new person. If that's what you decide to do and that's actually growing you towards your goal, then so be it. You're allowed to do this as much as you want to. What I will tell you is you are going to have to learn the art of discipline when you are going through these phases and going through these journeys. Really, you're going to have to learn the art of discipline. You're going to have to realize that as many times as I want to rebrand myself, it's going to take that much more discipline. It's going to take that much more tunnel vision, right, ladies? Because this is a discipline game. One of the hardest things for people to do is stop trying to be so inspired all the time and start to rely on their discipline. I make these videos, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I make these videos because I realize that when you are inspired, it does make the journey so much easier. Okay. And if I can be providing y'all with a source of inspiration, but also give you some really good information, I realize that by you being inspired, it's a little bit easier to keep going on your journey. Right. And I always want to do that. I always want to be a source of inspiration because I want to make it that much easier on you ladies. But here's the thing you have to realize. Some days you're just not going to be inspired. Some days you're just not going to have anything external that makes you want to get up and do the thing anyway. And here's the thing. You're going to have to rely on your discipline to still do it. If you want to rely on inspiration only, you're only going to get so far in your journey, okay? And so when you get inspired, ride the wave. Ride the wave. When you get inspired and something gets you excited about your journey and you're like, I'm ready to go, I'm pumped. Ride the wave. Let it get you to the next level. Let it take you to the next step. Be inspired. But when that inspiration dwindles, okay, maybe nothing that I said in my video quite did it for you, or maybe you didn't find anything external. I need you to ride onto that discipline until the next spurt of inspiration comes. Okay, this is a consistency game, ladies. If you really want to rebrand, I'm telling you from experience, I'm telling you right now because I'm finally seeing the results of my latest rebrand. If you really, really want to rebrand, you need to be consistent, okay? And you cannot always rely on inspiration to do that. Sometimes you got to wake up and say, you know what? I'm not inspired at all to do this. So this is a discipline day. I'm going to go do it anyway. Okay, ladies? And that's the truth. And then hopefully you come on the channel and one day I put up a video that inspires you again and makes it a little bit easier. Okay? And then you'll hit discipline days again. It's a journey, right? But keep doing the things that you said you wanted to do for yourself so that you can have the life that you said you want for yourself. And with all that being said, ladies, I want to thank y'all for watching another video. Listen, if you are on this journey, if you are really putting the work in and being consistent, I want you to go ahead and drop in the comments below, I'm becoming her. I'm becoming her. Okay, ladies, this is your affirmation for the day. I am becoming her, because you are. With every single day that goes by, with every single habit that you consistently do, all of these things, you're becoming her. Okay, ladies, and when I say her, the woman that you prayed about, the woman that you asked God to allow you to be, you're becoming her. Okay, ladies, so go ahead and put your affirmation in the comments down below. Thank you, ladies, once again for watching another episode of Get 'em Girl, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.